Good evening, Patriots, and welcome to another edition of the Douglas Ducote Show podcast. You had many places you could be tonight. You chose to be here with me, and for that, I am forever grateful. Before we kick off into tonight's show, I want to share a little something with you that I did yesterday, just for shits and grins, that I thought was funny, because the rest of the show isn't going to be funny at all. So, watch this real quick, and hopefully you will get a kick out of it.
Hey, how you doing? I'm sorry, I need to turn the speakerphone so you could hear me better. Hey, I got a question for you. You got any free time on Sunday? Maybe about 30 minutes or 45 minutes?
Yeah, probably so.
So my wife and I decided that we would like to take our dogs, Patches and Gator, and get them baptized. And we have a church in Denham Springs that's willing to do it. And we would like to know if you would like to join us and be there to, be witness to our dogs being baptized.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
Well, no, we love our dogs. I mean, you're a dog guy. You have a dog, and we thought that this is something you'd be interested in joining us and bearing witness to our dogs, getting closer to Jesus.
Well, spell dog backwards.
G-O-D?
There it is.
Oh, well, okay, that's funny. But no, I'm serious. It's... Remember the movie All Dogs Go to Heaven? Well, that's what kind of gave us the inspiration for this, that, we want to make sure that our dogs go to heaven and we can meet them when we finally get there one day, if we get there one day. And you seriously, you won't come to see our dogs get baptized?
No.
I mean, I don't understand.
Because it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I was baptized. Were you baptized?
Yeah, but I'm not a dog.
But you love dogs.
Yeah.
So you won't show up for the baptism of our dogs?
No, y'all go ahead and go, and then we'll have lunch afterwards.
All right, man. Well, I just thought you'd be there for us, I mean, the dogs love you, and they think you're a great guy, and they love your dog.
Yeah. Well, my dog's an angel. That's why I spell dog backwards.
Okay, well, maybe we do lunch afterwards. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, dogs don't need baptizing.
All right, well, thank you for your time, brother. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Go ahead. Sorry. The things that go on in my mind that I find funny. So that was my friend Bobby. I've known Bobby since, I think we first met in, I started skydiving in 1978. So Bobby and I probably met in 1979. So we've been friends for many, many, many years. Come close to dying together several times. He's the guy that I went to the air races in Roswell with, and went and checked out the UFOs and the Bigfoots and all that kind of stuff. So I just thought it'd be kind of funny to call him up and invite him to the baptism of our dogs and see what he would say. And that was pretty damn good. Anyhow, with all the crazy shit that's going on in the world, and especially in this country, And as depressing as tonight's show is going to be, I thought we would start it off on something a little funny. So I hope you guys got a kick out of that. Anyhow, all right, let's get down to business. The first thing that I want to talk about is something that I brought up last week's show on Thursday as well as Tuesday. And I've said this many times, and that is that, yes, Hamas agreed to free the hostages that they had that were alive. And they did. All the alive hostages are released. Some of the dead bodies have been returned. Some are still being returned. But I told you this was far from over with. That the fact that Hamas was going to lay down their guns and pull the hell out of Gaza and Palestine and just allow a new government to be put into place was not going to happen. And sure enough, it's not happening. They're not putting down their guns. They're not wanting to give up control. In fact, they've already started breaking the ceasefire agreement. They've already started, fractions of them, attacking Israel again. And they're also going around and killing everyone, Palestinian, that they felt were in any way, shape, or form against them over the past 2 years. So where are all the college students that were on campuses across this country, free Palestine and marching and calling it a genocide, all that shit? Where were they when Trump first brokered this peace deal and got the hostages freed? They were silent, especially Rashida Tlaib and Alihan Omar and AOC up in Washington, congresswomen, that were on these college campuses protesting with these students. But furthermore, now that Hamas is proven to be what they are, which is terrorists, and what I said all along, until they are eradicated and completely eliminated, they will continue to be a threat in normal civilization and society. They must be decapitated, period. There is no ceasefire with these radical Islamic terrorists. It's just not going to happen for any extended period of time. Now, I'm happy that the hostages were released, but what's about to happen is a can of whoop ass is about to take place, because Donald Trump is not only going to give Israel the green light to go ahead and just continue to bombing the shit out of them, but he just said yesterday that he, America, and our military forces, along with our NATO forces, are ready to get together and go into Gaza and eliminate these motherfuckers once and for all. And that's the only way this comes to an end. So now that AOC and Rashida Tlaib and Alihan Omar didn't say shit about Trump brokering the deal and freeing, getting the hostages freed, but now Hamas is once again attacking Israel and killing Palestinians that were against their radical takeover of the country. And they're once again crickets, silence. That should tell you all you need to know about those three. Well, the entire Democrat Party up in Washington, D.C., for that matter. How many Democrats are out there condemning Hamas? None. How many Democrats out there up in Washington, D.C. gave Trump credit for getting these hostages freed. Now, former Secretary of State and failed presidential candidate Hillary Clinton at least gave praise to Trump for doing it, getting it accomplished. CNN, of all places, and even some people at MSNBC gave Trump credit. But this is far from over, sadly. And there will be more lives lost. On the other side of the coin, we're also Trump is trying his damnedest, as he's tried from day one, of getting Russia to stop bombing Ukraine. We do know that Marco Rubio supposedly had a good conversation with the Russian president that stopped Trump from talking to him, which is what was going to happen. I think that was supposed to happen today. And I don't know what the conversation was with Rubio and Putin, but whatever it was, Rubio talked Trump into just leave it alone. Don't call him. You guys are going to be meeting here coming up soon with all three of the presidents, Trump, Putin, and Zelensky, the Ukrainian president. And hopefully they will come to an agreement and put this to an end once and for all, because it's senseless killings. I mean, my God, Russia has lost hundreds of thousands of soldiers. So has North Korea, who sent soldiers over there to fight because Russia was losing so many, and they worked some kind of deal out. I don't know what North Korea is going to get out of this deal, but they worked some kind of deal out to send troops over there to fight with Russian troops. They're all being slaughtered. And of course, hundreds of thousands, if not over 1 million, Ukrainians, innocent men, women, and children have been killed. One of the things that the Ukrainian president wants is Tomahawk cruise missiles. We talked about that last week. At the moment, Trump has still put that on hold. And primarily, I believe, because if we give Ukraine these Tomahawk cruise missiles, we know what they're going to do. They're going to fire them right into Moscow. And then we're probably going to have World War III, because Russia's only saving grace at that point is going to be to use nuclear weapons, which they threaten to do. They threaten to do that every damn day. They're the only country with nuclear weapons that make these threats on a regular basis. I mean, it's just a talking point for them daily. And one would think that that wouldn't be the case with world leaders. But any way you look at it, these two conflicts, lots of people have died. Innocent men, women, and children have been slaughtered for what? For what? And continue to be killed. I think some Israeli service members were killed yesterday and today by Hamas firing shit at them. And then Russia has got tons of drones that they're sending over in Ukraine, bombing the crap out of everything they can bomb. So the next couple of months are going to be very interesting. I'm very hopeful, optimistic that Trump is going to be able to pull off getting Russia to stop this crap. And whether it means Ukraine gives up some land, what Russia's already taken. I don't know. I don't, at this point, you know, if you're the Ukrainian president, you need to come to the table. I know, yeah, Russia attacked you. You didn't do anything to deserve what they did to you. I get that, okay? You don't have to talk to me about that. But we're at a point now where you got to do something. There's got to be negotiations to get the killing to stop, or it's not going to stop. And under the Biden-Harris administration, there was no negotiations at all to get this to stop. All they were doing was pumping weapons into Ukraine to continue this war, which didn't make any sense to me. I'm sure it didn't to you either. So more to come on that, but it's a very positive step from what we're hearing right now from Marco Rubio. Like I say, we don't know all the details of it, but whatever he said, he managed to get Trump not to make that phone call today. So we'll see as we move forward. The Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals yesterday ruled that President Donald Trump can, C-A-N, deploy Oregon National Guard troops into the city of Portland, delivering a significant victory to the Trump administration as it continues its effort to send federal forces into Democrat-led cities despite a string of recent setbacks in other districts and appeal courts. Judges on the three-member panel ruled 2-1 in authorizing Trump's deployment, which we knew was going to happen because he's the commander-in-chief of the military. He has the power to do that. He takes an oath, just like these governors of these Democrat states and these mayors of these Democrat cities and these police chiefs of these Democrat cities, to protect the citizens. And they're not doing it. They're just letting the killings to continue. And Trump said, enough of that. We're not going to do that. We're going to bring law and order to America. If you won't fix your damn shit, we will. All right? Judges on the three-member panel ruled 2-1 to authorize Trump's deployment. Judge Ryan Nelson and Judge Bridget Bade, both that were appointed by Trump, sided with the administration in a major ruling, with the lone Clinton-appointed judge, Susan Greiber, saying no. After considering the record at the primary stage, we conclude that it is likely that the president lawfully exercises his statutory authority under 10 U.S.C. 12406(3), which authorizes the federalization of National Guard when the president is unable with the regular forces to execute the laws in the United States. The majority said the move has become a political flashpoint as protesters opposing his key policies have clashed with law enforcement all across the country. Well, only in Democrat cities. Oregon officials and civil liberties groups said the administration is exaggerating the threat, while Trump allies insist the Guard is needed to restore law and order. After a federal judge in Oregon temporarily blocked Trump's attempt to deploy troops to Portland earlier this month, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals agreed to hear the Trump administration's appeal. The lower court judge had described Trump's actions in her emergency order as untethered to reality, and one that she said risked blurring the lines between civil and military federal power to the detriment of the country. The appeals court quickly stayed the lower court's order pending review. The ruling comes as Trump has sought to deploy hundreds of National Guard troops to Democrat-led cities despite state oppositions from local and state leaders. Senior administration officials have argued that the deployment is a necessary step to crack down on what they say is an uptick in violent crime and protests against threats all across these cities, including against ICE agents, demonstrations in all the downtown areas there. Democrats have countered that Trump's description are hyperbolic and inaccurate and are merely a legal pretext to Trump to try to federalize Democrat-led cities, which is a crap of just, they're just so stuck on stupid. You can't fix this if you try. They use news conferences to highlight declines in violence. And it argued in court that the efforts to deploy federal troops exceed Trump's authority as commander-in-chief. That's how dumb they are. They don't believe that the President of the United States, who's the commander-in-chief of the United States military and the National Guard, has the authority to use them. Until the matter is appealed to the Supreme Court, which is probably what Oregon will do, the burden remains on the lower courts to navigate the high-profile, politically thorny flurry of cases. Another federal appeals court has also weighed in on the disputes. This past Saturday, the 7th U.S. Court of Appeals in Chicago partially lifted a lower court's order blocking Trump's federal deployment of troops, though the decision stopped short of authorizing their use and instead allowed them to remain at a U.S. Army Reserve base outside the city. That's going to be overturned as well really soon. In Oregon, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals held about 90 minutes of arguments on the administration's appeal. Trump administration officials argued the troops' presence was necessary to quell mounting unrest and protect against future risk of violence. Judges of the three-member panel, apparently largely sympathetic to the Trump administration, especially the two appointees, also noted presidents to deploy broad latitude to deploy the National Guard. It may well be that the forces are used in an improper way, but we don't have evidence of that, Judge Ryan Nelson said during the arguments. Trump's decision to call up the military doesn't strike me as a glaring overuse on its face, he said. And of course it doesn't. And look, all that has to happen is these Democrat governors and these Democrat mayors just do what they're supposed to do, to hold up to their oath of office to protect their citizens and stop the violence on their streets. That's it. That's all they have to do. Instead, they're not doing that. They're allowing these liberal freaks and liberal Democrats to go run rampant into these cities and attack ICE officers, attack law enforcement officers. In some cases, not even giving them backup when they request it. Orders to stand down. I mean, this is insane that they're allowing this to happen. And it's only going to backfire as it is. It's only going to get worse. So I want to share something with you with this No King's Day thing that just recently took place. You know, I don't know why my dog is barking her ass off in the other room, but I'm sorry about that. My wife is not here right now. My son's upstairs doing whatever he's doing. I'm down here by myself, and she's over there just having a field day. Probably, I don't know, a raccoon in the backyard she sees through the window. Anyhow, I noticed something about the No Kings rally that a lot of people probably didn't. And I want to take a moment to share that with you. I made a little video yesterday, and which will explain my take on this and maybe give you a little more insight as to what I think of the No Kings bullshit they did. As a former Democrat, I want to share with you all something that, just something I noticed with this No Kings rally. The last one they had, and the one before that, they've already had two now. Something that a lot of people might have not caught or might have not
paid much attention to. The last time the Democrat Party massed together this many white people to be marching in the streets against a particular type person, they were wearing white robes and hoods. Yeah. Back then they were called the KKK. Now they're called, well, Antifa, liberals, liberal Democrats, and stuck on stupid. And I'm speaking from experience as a former Democrat. They're the same party that fought against Abraham Lincoln, freeing the slaves. Same party that fought for segregation. Same party that founded Planned Parenthood for the whole purpose of eliminating black babies. And the same party that founded the KKK. And they got together all across the country, put on their robes and marched. All white people, all Democrats. And today, the only difference is they're not wearing the robe. Think about it.
Does that make sense? I view the No Kings crap that we watch take place as the same thing that the Klan did, for crying out loud. I mean, that's how insane this stupid shit is. Now, I'll give them credit that so far we didn't see any, for the most part, any physical violence. They didn't burn anything down. They didn't loot stores and stuff like that. And I've already had some of my Democrat friends reach out, and, well, not Democrat friends, but liberal Democrat friends going, haha, you thought there was going to be violence and see how peaceful it was, Well, in general, yeah, it was peaceful. And I'm happy for that. But there are things now coming out that we're seeing that took place. And there's actual video and pictures of it to show you just how violent these motherfuckers are, even though they didn't hurt anyone. For instance, that was at one of the rallies. Does that look pretty disgusting to you? Or how about this? This machine kills fascists. Which one heals faster? A, Trump's ear. B, Erica's heart. Erica Kirk. Or how about this? Politicians don't die like they used to. Or this peach right here, make assassinations great again. That reminds me of the Klan. They want people dead that they don't agree with or don't like. And that's pretty pathetic. It's sad. Speaking of pathetic and sad, ex-CNN host Don Lemon, that piece of garbage right there, suggested that black and brown Americans of all stripes should legally arm themselves in case immigrations and customs enforcement, ICE agents show up at their doors. Lemon made the comment today on the Left Hook with Wajid Allah, clarifying that he was not condoning or promoting violence, but that he was tired of the niceties while ICE agents were rounding people up off the streets without due process and sending them off to the gulag. If you believe in the Second Amendment, if you believe in the Constitution, black people, brown people of all stripes, whether you're an Indian American or Mexican American or whoever you are, get out of your place where you live and get a gun legally, get a license to carry legally, Lemon said. Because when you have people knocking on your door and taking you away without due process as a citizen, isn't that what the Second Amendment was written for? Lemon said he hoped the settlement could knock some sense into people within the Trump administration. Nobody is illegal, Lemon argued. It's a misdemeanor to cross the border. Now, if you do it a number of times, then it becomes something else, he said. And he, ranted and raved about some other shit too. But let me let you listen to him in his own pathetic, uneducated words.
Believe in the Constitution. Black people, brown people of all stripes, whether you're an Indian American or a Mexican American or whoever you are, go out in your place where you live and get a gun legally, get a license to carry legally. Because when you have people knocking on your door and taking you away without due process as a citizen, isn't that what the Second Amendment was written for?
Isn't that what the Second Amendment was written for? Well, see, no, Don, it wasn't. It was written for a tyrannical government. And that's not what we have happening here. They're not rounding up American citizens. They're rounding up illegal criminals that have committed horrible crimes like rape and murder, sex trafficking of women and children, MS-13 gang members and other gang members, drug traffickers. The same people that the Democrats up in Washington, D.C. and the Democrat mayors and Democrat governors are trying to protect, Don. And you got the nerve to say some silly shit like that? And you wonder why CNN fired your ass? Because you're unhinged. You have no clue what you're talking about. You basically are telling people that aren't able to own a gun, because if you're here in our country illegally, or it doesn't even matter if you're not here illegally, if you're not an American citizen under our laws, you cannot own a firearm. And Don Lemon is acting just like the Democrats up in Washington, D.C. are, the liberal ones, spreading these false lies that Trump is rounding up black and brown people and sent them to the gulag, which is a Hitler thing. They did in Nazi Germany. It's inciting violence is what it's doing. And people like him need to be locked away in a padded fucking room and throw the damn key away. There's no place in our society for that kind of shit. Now, I support your First Amendment right all day long. I fought for your First Amendment rights. But I didn't fight for you to lie. Blatantly lie. Like they're doing up in Congress, and like that piece of shit right there is doing that you just heard. When you lie to the point of it's causing people to actually believe you and go out and do things like hurt other people, in this case, ICE agents, law enforcement agents, 2 assassination attempts on the president, killing Charlie Kirk, all their rhetoric protected under the First Amendment isn't protected under the First Amendment. It's inciting violence. And I want to see some people held accountable for that. That's all I'm asking for. And I understand the DOJ and the FBI have their hands full. Good Lord, do they ever. But they need to start taking care. The only way you're going to put an end to this violence we see happening across this country right now in these Democrat-run cities is if you start putting these people in jail. They're inciting violence. Whether they're a Democrat congressman or congresswoman or a former CNN host like Don Lemon, you lock their ass up and you charge them with inciting violence. Until you do that, there will be more people injured, more people killed, and more assassination attempts. And that's just a fact. A Wisconsin mother says she was stunned after her young son was handed a bracelet calling for President Donald Trump's death in a local farmer's market. Katie Nuremberg said the bracelet was given to her 8-year-old son by volunteers at the Winnebago County Democrat Party booth during a recent visit to the Oakershus Farms market. She said the bracelet read, "Is he dead yet?" I handed it back to him and I said, "We don't wear hate speech here." She said I had to walk away because I was seething. She said she later returned to the booth and noticed other bracelets with anti-Trump messages, including ones that were marked 8647, which is what James Comey did. Remember that? The phrase 86 slang is for get rid of or kill, and 47 refers to president as the 47th president of the United States. Mother said she contacted the market's manager, who told her she wasn't the first one to complain. In fact, there were 10 other complaints total that particular day. Think about this. This is a Democrat Party booth for that county set up, giving out bracelets inciting violence to kids. Leave that party, Democrats. If you're an average Democrat out there, just working for a living, trying to put food on the table, raise your family, pay attention to what's happening. Pay attention to other podcasters like me that are telling you what's happening, showing you what's happening. Because that party doesn't align with your values anymore. I know. I left them for a reason. They don't align with my values either. Can it get worse? Oh, I'm sure it can. An Illinois State University teaching assistant has been fired after he was captured on video flipping a Turning Point USA table over and tearing up the group's flyers they put on campus. And we're allowed to put on campus because the campus invited them there. While Illinois State University does not comment specifically on personal matters, we can confirm that Derek Lopez, that wonderful piece of shit right there, has been relieved of his duties as a graduate teaching assistant pending further investigation. The school confirmed yesterday. Lopez, a 27-year-old graduate student, can be seen in the video speaking to a man next to where the conservative group was promoting an upcoming appearance by political comedian Alex Stein. Well, you know, Jesus did it, so, you know, I got to do it, right? Lopez told the man before he grabbed the table they were sitting at and flipped it over with all their shit on it onto the ground. Thanks, guys. Have a great day, he said before walking away. He's also accused of disturbing a second informational table hosted by a student group, according to the Illinois State University Police. He was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct and criminal damage to property. I wonder where he's getting this from. I wonder where people like him are getting that Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA, Donald Trump, Republicans, anybody that believes in Make America Great Again, conservatives, or Nazis, fascists, Hitler types. Where's he getting that from? Where are these idiots getting that from? Look no further than Washington, D.C. and the Democrat leadership. A Georgia man has been accused of ripping down a Trump 2024 banner and then opening fire on North Carolina home has been arrested. Benjamin Michael Campbell, 37, was taken into custody in Georgia and extradited to North Carolina, the Swain County Sheriff's Office said. He faces charges of felony assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill or inflict serious injury, discharging a firearm within an enclosure to incite fear, and willfully and wantonly injure to personnel and property. Campbell was reportedly speeding along a highway in Natalie Gorge, North Carolina, when he spotted the flag hanging in Mark Thompson's front yard, according to the New York Post. And I think I have a picture of this wonderful species. Or do I? I did have a picture of this wonderful species, and I don't think I uploaded it tonight. I'm sorry about that. He tore down the banner before firing multiple shots and just missed the man by a few feet. He was driving along, saw the sign, slammed on his brakes, and had a political trigger moment. And he just had to tear the sign down. Thomas, 62, told the Daily Mail. Police responded to the scene, but Campbell had driven off by the time they arrived. Investigators later obtained a video of the confrontation that Thomas posted to YouTube, according to the sheriff's office. I'm a Trump supporter, Thomas told the Daily Mail. I have weapons for my protection and my enjoyment, and I keep them handy. You know, what good are they if you can't get to them when you need them? So I reached over and grabbed my rifle. Thomas compared the incident to the killing of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk, you know, his incident was absolutely tragic. No one died here in my yard, but flip the coin, snap of your fingers. Somebody could have died, just like Charlie Kirk did. Where is that man getting this from? Oh, you know what? I do have a picture of that piece of shit. Here we go. There he is. That's him. That would be him. That would be Benjamin Michael Campbell. Where did Benjamin get the idea that he should do something like this? The Democrat leadership in Washington, D.C. is telling everybody that Trump, his administration, ICE, police officers, conservatives, Republicans, people like Charlie Kirk are racist, bigots, fascist, white supremacist, and need to be injured, attacked, and killed. Which is why I continue to call for something to be done to these people that are openly and willingly inciting violence. Philadelphia Democrat George Soros-backed District Attorney Larry Krenzer is facing mounting backlash after a repeated offender previously released on low bail and freed when Kenzer's office dropped kidnapping and assault charges, was charged in the disappearance of Miss USA hopeful Conda Scott, who was 23, whose remains were found over the weekend. At a tense Friday news conference, Kenzer blamed systemic issues for the suspect's earlier release on bail, a defense that drew immediate rebut from victims, advocates, and court officials who accused the DA of dodging responsibilities, as they're doing all over this country. You're seeing it happen. Prosecutors have now filed additional charges against, and again, 21-year-old Keon King, escalating the case that has gripped Philadelphia. King, who is already facing kidnapping, stalking, and false imprisonment counts, now faces a new slate of charges, including arson, conspiracy, tampering of evidence, and causing a catastrophe after police discovered Scott's body in a shallow grave behind a farmer's school. And that would be the poor girl that didn't deserve to die and the piece of shit that did it. And then the DA let him walk. Investigators said King used a burned vehicle to move Scott's body, and that both his phone data and the vehicle linked him to multiple crime scenes. Assistant District Attorney Ashley Tolotris said it's still being investigated. She confirmed King's digital trail places him at every major location tied to Scott's disappearance and her death. The case has reignited scrutiny on this DA's progressive policies and his handling of violent repeated offenders. Earlier this year, his office dropped an assault and kidnapping case against this same fucking guy. The victim failed to appear in court out of fear for her life. The decision allowed King to walk free on $200,000 bail, even though prosecutors had sought nearly $1 million because of the violent nature of the charges. At Friday's news conference, Krenzer conceded it could have been handled better, but he also cited systemic issues in the city's bail process. Ultimately, the buck stops here, he said. It's not my job to throw other people under the bus. You piece of shit. And we have this happening all over Democrat states and Democrat cities. These liberal judges and liberal DAs are just letting these criminals walk right the fuck back out the door to commit another crime. And you're upset that Trump's having to activate the National Guard to send in to try and stop this violence that you won't protect? You're not protecting your own citizens, Democrats in these cities, mayors, city council members, governors. And this is what we get. This is not okay. Again, to the average Democrat out there that's just trying to raise their family and put food on the table, wake the fuck up and realize that the Democrat Party left your morals and values a long damn time ago. Listen to people like me that used to be a Democrat, that are knee deep in this shit, reporting on it and telling you the truth, and hope that you will share it with your family and friends. And if you're not a Democrat, even if you're a Republican or conservative, anybody watching this show tonight should be sharing my videos on your social media platforms. And other conservatives are doing the same thing I'm doing. we're exposing the radical left Democrat Party of today. And thankfully, thank God, as I speak, the Democrat Party is losing more Democrats that are switching to Republican or independent than ever in its history. And the Republican Party is gaining more people registering to be Republican that used to be Democrat than ever in its history. So they are getting it slowly. But as you saw with the No King's Day, I mean, think about that. Think how dumb this was. First off, if you know anything about history and kings wouldn't allow a No Kings protest. Off with your head. Did the Trump administration send out law enforcement to try and round these people up and stop them? No. I wonder why. Because he's not a king. He's a president. Now, what's really upsetting them is all the memes that Donald Trump continues to share on his social media platforms and other conservatives and Republicans like myself. I get a kick out of this shit. I really do. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I shouldn't do it. But it triggers them so much when they see memes and AI videos of Democrat leadership wearing sombreros because they're supporting fucking illegal immigrants that are murderers, rapists, and child molesters, and drug traffickers, and gang members. And Donald Trump dressed up as a king. I mean, that shit's just funny. And they're going batshit crazy with this. It's driving them nuts. And that's good. That's good. It's not driving the average Democrat out there that's just trying to put food on the table and raise their family. Nope, they're laughing at it. Now, Trump did share something that during the No King's Day protest, somebody had made an AI video of a jet with Trump as the pilot flying this fighter jet over a crowd of No King's protesters, opening the Bombay door, and out came feces and covered the crowd in shit. Okay. And man, did that trigger these fuckers. I mean, they're losing their freaking mind over this. And Kenny Loggins, so it was done to music, the soundtrack from what was the with Tom Cruise, the F-14 fighter pilot movie. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the fucking movie now. But the guy who wrote that, Kenny Loggins, came out. He's demanding that Trump take this down and take his music out of it. Well, Trump didn't make this. He's not making these memes. He's not making these AI videos. There are other people doing that. So you're barking up the wrong fucking tree, Kenny Loggins. Go out and figure out, get your attorneys and your investigators, figure out who actually made it, and then trace back that source and get them to take it down. But once it's out there for public knowledge and on the internet, guess what? Ain't a damn thing you can do about it. And Trump's just laughing at you, like we're doing at the Democrats up in Washington, D.C. right now, holding our country hostage over this fucking shutdown because they want illegal aliens to be able to have health care. Anyhow, you couldn't make this shit up if you tried. I mean, you really couldn't make this shit up if you tried. Folks, you had many places to be tonight. You chose to be here with me, and for that, I'm forever grateful. Well, thank you very much. Whether you're watching us live on the YouTube channel or the Rumble channel or the X channel, please like, subscribe, share it with your family and friends. Let everybody know about the Douglas Ducote Show. Let them know if they got little ones in the room. You know, every now and then Mr. Doug says 1 or 20 bad words, so they might want to keep that in mind. Keep the volume down or wear headphones when you're listening to what I have to say, because I lost political correctness a long damn time ago. I think it was probably after my second combat tour, much less the third and fourth combat tour, much less working 9 years in law enforcement. My political correctness is gone. Boom, stick a fork in it, not happening anymore. I am who I am. I will continue to be this way till the day they put me in the ground, which could happen at any moment, or it could happen, you know, maybe I could live to be 100. Doubt it very, very seriously. But I think you get the point. Anyhow, please like and share and let everybody know about the Douglas Ducote Show. We picked up, I wish we could get the same amount of viewership on Rumble and X that we're getting on YouTube. We picked up almost 2,000 subscribers in the past couple of weeks on just the YouTube channel alone. So that's very, very good. And YouTube is no longer messing with us the way they were, unsubscribing people that would sign up. Although that's still happening a little bit, but nothing like it was. I mean, those of you that didn't follow me for a long time know that there was a point a few years ago, right before COVID, where we were almost at 400,000 subscribers just on the YouTube channel. And now we're down to, went down to 122,000. They had taken so many people away, just unsubscribing them, boom, 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 boom. And now that's changed. And they're allowing people to come back on the platform that they had banned because of their videos about COVID. I never got banned for my videos about COVID, but my videos got banned, and I got put in timeout a few times for sharing the fucking truth and information that was coming directly from my doctors. And, but it didn't go with the World Health Organization or the current administration, the Biden-Harris administration's ideological bullshit. And therefore, but those videos are now, guess what? They're coming back up again. YouTube's putting them back up on my channel. And they're being remonetized again. So that's a good thing. We're winning this war slowly, but we're winning it because we're right. Not just that we're on the right, but we're on the right side of history, folks. I really believe that deep in my soul, with every fiber of my body, that the current Democrat leadership in Washington, D.C. are evil bastards. No different than Hamas terrorists or Al-Qaeda or Hezbollah. They're evil. And they're calling for violence against anybody that doesn't believe in their ideology. And that's not okay. And we will continue to stand up to it, and we will continue to put out the truth and share our knowledge with you and do our damnedest to make sure that when you tune in to this program, you're getting 100% factual information. And the difference is with me and me compared to a lot of other podcasters out there, if I get it wrong, sometimes I do, I come back and correct it or put it out in the community section and let you know, hey, I made a mistake on this or that, or I said this that wasn't quite right, or, that doesn't happen very often. But we're all human, and sometimes we make mistakes. And also the other difference is that I don't give a shit if you're a Democrat or a Republican, conservative or a liberal. If you're up in Washington, D.C. doing stupid shit, I'm going to call you out on it. That's how this is supposed to be done. It's okay if you're a conservative or a Republican. If a conservative or a Republican in Washington, D.C., to include the president, does something stupid, to say it's stupid. The Democrats on the other side of the coin won't ever do that with their people. They will let their people say and do whatever the hell they want, and they stay in lockstep, just like Nazi soldiers. And that's not okay. As always, please say a prayer for our men and women serving the United States military, our veterans, our law enforcement officers, our first responders, their families, our angel families, our blue and gold star families in our country. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless each and every one of you. I'll see you back here on Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. If anything breaks between now and then, I'll either put a video out about it or I will do a live broadcast, breaking news. Other than that, hope you all have a wonderful and blessed night, a wonderful and blessed day tomorrow, and I'll see you back here on Thursday. Good night, everybody.